Hello, movie lovers. Today, we're spotlighting 10 must-see Cameron Diaz films that showcase her comedic genius, emotional depth, and magnetic star power. From breezy rom-coms to thought-provoking dramas, each entry tells its own story of why Diaz remains a Hollywood favorite. Ready to discover or revisit her finest roles? Let's jump right in. Directed by James Mangold, Night and Day is a tongue-in-cheek action comedy that thrusts Cameron Diaz into a chaotic, globe-trotting adventure alongside Tom Cruise. Diaz plays June Havens, a friendly, unassuming woman simply trying to catch a flight home. But when she meets Roy Miller, Cruise, everything changes in the blink of an eye. Their fateful encounter propels June into a whirlwind of shootouts, double crosses, and high-octane stunts. The narrative unfolds like a roller coaster. Each time June thinks she's got a grip on events, a new twist upends her reality. The charm here lies in Diaz's knack for balancing comedic bewilderment with moments of real courage. June starts off flustered. Who wouldn't be? Suddenly stuck with a stranger who might be a rogue agent, but soon rises to each impossible challenge. Whether narrowly dodging gunfire in a serene cafe or racing through European backstreets, she conveys a sense of awe and panic that grounds the film's more ridiculous elements. Tom Cruise, for his part, plays Roy with breezy confidence. His calm in the face of mayhem contrasts nicely with June's wide-eyed disbelief. But Night and Day isn't just about action, it's also a cheeky send-up of spy thrillers. Director James Mangold leans into absurd set pieces, like improbable escapes from heavily armed villains, and peppers the dialogue with witty banter that shows off Diaz's comedic timing. She reacts with snappy one-liners, startled gasps, and slow-burn realizations, ensuring we're never left waiting too long for a comedic note. In typical fashion, Cruise performs an array of stunts, leaping onto moving vehicles or darting through crossfire, while Diaz stands as our relatable anchor. She might not have special ops training, but she has the gumption to keep up when bullets fly. That perspective is part of the film's fun. We get to see how an ordinary person might survive this larger-than-life scenario. Ultimately, Night and Day is popcorn entertainment at its best. Light, energetic, and full of playful spirit. Diaz gives June a believable arc, growing from baffled traveler to resourceful ally. If you crave a comedic twist on espionage, with sizzling chemistry and comedic tension, Night and Day makes for a breezy evening watch. It highlights Diaz's ability to stay charming under chaos, reminding us that even in a hail of bullets, humor and a dash of romance can shine through. Shifting Gears in Her Shoes, directed by Curtis Hanson, offers a grounded, heartfelt look at the bonds and breaks within a fractured family. Cameron Diaz portrays Maggie, a free-spirited drifter forever sidestepping responsibility, who bounces from one couch to another with no intention of settling down. Her elder sister, Rose, Toni Collette, is the polar opposite. Meticulous, highly organized, and quietly battling insecurities about her self-worth. Their simmering tensions explode when Maggie commits one betrayal too many, driving a wedge between them. Maggie's crisis leads her to an unexpected discovery. A grandmother, Ella Shirley MacLaine, living in a retirement community they never knew existed. Searching for belonging, Maggie lands on Ella's doorstep. What follows is both comedic and poignant. While Ella's surroundings brim with older residents enjoying leisurely routines, Maggie grapples with her own demons. Feeling perpetually inadequate, yet determined to prove she's more than a shallow party girl. Diaz deftly unpacks Maggie's complexities. Beneath the brash exterior lies longing for genuine validation. The film highlights her vulnerability in subtle ways. Maybe she can't hold down a job or keep a boyfriend, but she cherishes the idea of being seen as capable of real love and skill. Scenes where Maggie stumbles through tasks that should be simple, like basic caregiving for seniors, mingle humor and pathos. You laugh at her clumsy mistakes, but you also root for her to catch on and grow up. Meanwhile, Rose undergoes her own self-discovery. Toni Collette reveals how Rose's polished exterior conceals a tangle of fears and regrets. Their eventual reunion weaves comedic misunderstandings with raw introspection, forcing them to confront not just each other's flaws, but the shared family history that shaped them both. Shirley MacLaine's Ella adds wisdom and grounding, nudging her granddaughters to look past old resentments and nurture the love hidden beneath bitterness. For Diaz, In Her Shoes showcases her versatility. She easily could have played Maggie as a simple caricature, a hot mess sister overshadowing her responsible sibling, but instead brings empathy to the role. Each comedic slip hints at underlying hurt, and each moment of growth feels truly earned. The film's message resonates. Sometimes family can be the fiercest battleground, but it can also be the safest haven for second chances. Watching Diaz guide Maggie through heartbreak, reflection, and redemption is a sweet reminder that personal change often blossoms where we least expect it. Imagine waking up one day to find your perfect life splintering into unrecognizable fragments. That's the unsettling premise of Vanilla Sky, directed by Cameron Crowe. Tom Cruise plays David Ames, a charismatic man with wealth, social prestige, and an enviable Manhattan penthouse. Enter Cameron Diaz as Juliana Gianni, David's sometimes lover, a woman whose passion for him edges toward obsession. Initially, Juliana appears carefree. She's funny, alluring, and deeply enthralled by David's lifestyle. But when she suspects him drifting toward another woman, she reacts with devastating impulsiveness, culminating in an accident that permanently alters David's life. From here, the film unravels into a swirl of psychological riddles, merging flashbacks, nightmares, and surreal encounters. Diaz stands at the story's crossroads, embodying the danger that arises when adoration crosses into something far darker. The brilliance of her performance lies in its unpredictability. She veers from tender to volatile, from needy to menacing, sometimes within a single scene. Even as David attempts to move on, Juliana's presence seeps into his consciousness, haunting him in ways he can't escape. Vanilla Sky pulls viewers through dreamlike montages, blending romance, fear, and existential questioning. We're never entirely sure what's truly happening, and Diaz's depiction of Juliana amplifies that ambiguity. Is she real? A figment of David's remorse? A manifestation of self-destructive guilt? The film deliberately keeps us guessing. Amid its many twists, the film contemplates identity and responsibility. David, once carefree and self-assured, is forced to reckon with choices that shaped his relationships, especially the tension between genuine emotional bonds and fleeting lust. Diaz nails the desperation of a woman who senses she's losing the man she adores, along with a deeper undercurrent of psychological fragility. If you're a fan of stories that challenge your perceptions, Vanilla Sky might be up your alley. Beyond the eerie intrigue, it's a cautionary tale about how small decisions can spawn chaos that unravels everything you cherish. By the time the credits roll, Diaz's portrayal of Juliana lingers, demonstrating her range as someone who can be heartbreakingly affectionate, yet chillingly destructive. Ultimately, the film threads an uneasy line between reality and illusion, inviting you to question which parts of love and obsession are real and which are constructed from our own regrets. Step inside the brutally competitive world of pro football in Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday, where the stakes are high both on and off the field. Cameron Diaz stars as Christina Pagliacci, the new owner of the Miami Sharks, a once glorious team now struggling to stay afloat. Christina may have inherited the franchise from her father, but she faces a daunting task, rebuilding the Sharks' reputation against mounting financial pressures and fan discontent. In a league rife with cutthroat deals and egos the size of stadiums, Christina is determined to reinvent the organization. She battles old-school head coach Tony D'Amato, Al Pacino, who sees her as an inexperienced interloper, meddling in a game she doesn't fully comprehend. Diaz's portrayal adds a fresh dynamic, showcasing a young woman who's learned to be ruthless in boardrooms where few respect her authority. She slashes through red tape, makes unpopular decisions, and challenges the idea that tradition alone wins championships. What makes Diaz compelling here is that Christina isn't a saint. Her ambition occasionally crosses into moral gray areas. She pressures injured players to push on, issues ultimatums, and even contemplates relocating the team. Yet you catch glimpses of the emotional toll behind her tough exterior. Moments where Christina reveals deep insecurity about living up to her father's legacy. Through measured expressions and subtle shifts in tone, Diaz makes it clear that while Christina is tough, she's not impenetrable. Stone intercuts game day chaos with tense board meetings, rowdy locker room conflicts, and the personal dramas of star athletes. It's an unvarnished look at how money and media shape what fans see each Sunday. For Diaz, playing Christina means stepping into the role of a savvy executive in a testosterone-fueled environment. She's forced to make unforgiving calls, sometimes alienating players and staff who cling to nostalgia. By film's end, Any Given Sunday leaves a pointed message. Sports, like any big industry, can be as messy behind the scenes as it is thrilling on the field. Diaz's Christina underscores that new blood can disrupt established norms, whether people welcome it or not. She's at once steely and insecure, proving Diaz can confidently handle more dramatic roles that delve into power struggles and leadership complexities. Watching her spar with Pacino ensures the film brims with confrontational energy, an intensity worthy of both the gritty locker room and the executive suite. Before there were countless CGI-laden superhero sagas, The Mask burst onto screens in 1994, delivering a cartoon-inspired riot of color and chaos. Jim Carrey portrays Stanley Ipkiss, a shy bank clerk who discovers a mysterious wooden mask that transforms him into a green-faced whirlwind of mischief. Stepping into the limelight with a star-making role, Cameron Diaz plays Tina Carlisle, a captivating lounge singer who becomes Stanley's love interest, and, unwittingly, a target for the city's criminal underbelly. The Mask leans heavily on Carrey's elastic comedy, but Diaz's performance grounds it with a vibrant yet approachable charm. Tina could easily have been pigeonholed as a mere femme fatale archetype. She's strikingly beautiful, sings in a sultry style, and initially aligns with the bad guys. Yet Diaz imbues Tina with warmth and self-awareness, ensuring she's not overshadowed by Carrey's over-the-top gags. It's remarkable, too, considering this marked Diaz's major film debut. Her on-screen presence is magnetic. In one memorable scene, Tina performs at the Coco Bongo Club, mesmerizing both Stanley and the audience. You sense her character's innocence beneath the glamorous facade. When The Mask, Stanley's alter ego, dances with Tina in a show-stopping sequence, the chemistry crackles. From comedic pratfalls to old Hollywood musical nods, each moment underscores Diaz's inherent star quality. She matches Carrey's infectious energy, ensuring every comedic beat resonates while preserving Tina's vulnerability. Beyond the spectacle, The Mask sneaks in a simple moral about identity. The titular relic amplifies who you already are. Stanley unlocks latent confidence, but criminals become even more dangerous. Diaz's Tina sees past the wild, cartoonish persona and glimpses the decent man behind it. Their interplay blossoms into an unexpected romance. This movie remains a 90s classic, brimming with cartoon physics and irreverent humor. Though it's predominantly Carrey's show, Diaz's contribution is invaluable. She's the emotional core who keeps the story's zany edge from spiraling into pure silliness. Ultimately, The Mask stands as a testament to Diaz's immediate impact. Even in her earliest role, she showcased the comedic intuition, warmth, and poise that would shape her career for years to come. If you're longing for a comforting romantic comedy, look no further than Nancy Meyers' The Holiday, starring Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, and Jack Black. The film introduces two women, Amanda Diaz in Los Angeles and Iris Winslet in England, who are both stuck in unfulfilling lives. Amanda, an overworked movie trailer producer, just caught her boyfriend cheating. Iris, a journalist, can't break free from a one-sided infatuation. Desperate for change, they trade homes for the holidays, exchanging countries, climates, and emotional baggage. Diaz's Amanda embodies the classic Type A professional who relies on fast-paced schedules and productivity to distract from her vulnerabilities. Tossed into an idyllic English cottage, she attempts to relax, but soon discovers she can't outrun her feelings, whether grappling with jet lag or navigating the coziness of a snowy village. Amanda reveals cracks in her carefully controlled veneer. Diaz's comedic timing shines during her fish-out-of-water mishaps, like trying to drive on narrow country roads or tackling front door locks she can't figure out. But the sweetness of The Holiday lies in how these comedic hurdles give way to deeper self-reflection. Amanda realizes she's built emotional walls so high that she doesn't even allow herself to cry. By crossing paths with Graham, Jude Law, Iris's charming brother, she glimpses a gentler side of life. Their encounters, filled with soft lighting and Christmas cheer, allow Amanda to explore intimacy without her usual self-protective guard. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Iris finds renewed hope with a friendly film composer, Jack Black. As the two storylines unfold in tandem, Myers expertly weaves comedic tangles with warm romance. For Diaz, the role of Amanda feels like a snug fit, a cheerful professional who must confront her own issues in a foreign setting. She handles the comedic beats with breezy charm, while also conveying genuine emotional breakthroughs. By the film's close, The Holiday delivers a testament to change. Sometimes stepping outside your comfort zone can open up new perspectives, whether it's embracing a relationship or rediscovering your ability to feel deeply. Diaz's portrayal underscores that transformation doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it's found in quiet moments of acceptance. Pair that with festive ambiance, and you get a cozy experience that blends humor, tenderness, and a reminder that second chances can appear when you least expect them. Crude, raunchy, and riotously funny, There's Something About Mary was a boundary-pushing comedy in the late 90s, directed by Bobby and Peter Farrelly. Cameron Diaz's Mary is the magnetic center of a storyline that follows a swarm of men, desperate to win her affection, primarily the hapless Ted, Ben Stiller. Years after a disastrous prom night derailed his shot at love, Ted hires a private investigator to track Mary down, only for the detective to concoct his own plans to woo her. What's impressive is how Diaz keeps Mary from becoming a mere trophy. She's laid back, approachable, and good-hearted, someone whose easy charm inadvertently sends multiple suitors into frenzies of dishonesty and pratfalls. Her presence exudes a glow that makes you understand why these men act so shamelessly ridiculous, even as they sabotage each other in cartoonish ways. From the infamous hair gel gag to cringe-worthy misunderstandings involving dogs or architecture, the Farrelly brothers pull no punches in pushing comedic limits. Yet the film has a playful spirit instead of mere shock value. Ted's unwavering crush might be over the top, but there's genuine sweetness in his devotion. Diaz effortlessly juggles comedic set pieces, maintaining Mary's genuineness. She's not laughing at the madness swirling around her. She's often just bemused by it all, winning audiences over with her warm persona. Mary's role is also subversive for 90s comedy. A female lead who's both the object of pursuit and a character with agency. She's not oblivious to manipulative tactics. She's kind but no pushover, able to laugh off bizarre advances without losing her sense of self. While many comedic scripts might pigeonhole her as a prize, Diaz adds layers that transcend easy stereotypes. For fans of wacky humor, There's Something About Mary is a comedic landmark. It built Diaz's reputation as a comedic heavyweight, capable of handling bold jokes while still radiating authenticity. The film's offbeat comedic tone remains iconic, and Diaz's Mary cements the idea that, in a comedy jam-packed with wild gags, heart can still reign supreme. Venturing into poignant drama, My Sister's Keeper, directed by Nick Cassavetes, offers a deep meditation on family, morality, and love, tested to its extreme. Cameron Diaz plays Sarah Fitzgerald, a mother determined to save her terminally ill daughter Kate at any cost. When doctors warn there's little hope, Sarah and her husband conceive Anna via in vitro fertilization to secure a perfect donor match, so Kate can receive the blood, marrow, and organs she needs. From birth, Anna is swept into a whirlwind of procedures she never consented to. By her early teens, she's exhausted and wants bodily autonomy. Hiring a lawyer, Anna sues her parents for medical emancipation, leaving Sarah reeling. Diaz's role as Sarah is fierce, emotional, and often uncomfortable. She loves Kate so wholly that she overlooks the psychological impact on Anna. There's no doubting Sarah's devotion, but her single-minded focus sparks moral questions. Is it right to treat one child as a life support system for another? Cassavetes intersperses hospital vigils, court battles, and flashbacks to Kate's earlier years, painting a picture of a family united yet worn thin by crisis. Diaz pushes beyond her comedic roots, showcasing a raw maternal drive that edges into desperation. Her confrontation scenes, particularly with Anna, resonate as she oscillates between heartbreak and anger, convinced that preserving Kate's life is all that matters. Yet the film also highlights quieter moments. We see Sarah's tender interactions with Kate, and we sense the guilt Sarah feels every time Anna is subjected to more tests. Diaz doesn't shy from the anguish that comes with her character's choices. You understand Sarah's panic at the possibility of losing a child, but it's equally apparent that she's alienating Anna in the process. My Sister's Keeper may leave you in tears, but it also stirs vital questions about medical ethics and parental responsibility. Diaz's performance reminds us that love, taken to an extreme, can blind us to the humanity of others, sometimes even our own children. In a role that demands vulnerability and determination, Diaz convincingly portrays a mother wrestling with impossible decisions. The result is a film that echoes long after the final scene, prompting reflection on how families cope with unimaginable trials and whether true compassion can emerge from heartbreak. Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York plunges viewers into the seedy Five Points neighborhood in mid-19th century Manhattan, a cauldron of rivalry, political corruption, and constant gang warfare. Amid towering performances by Daniel Day-Lewis as the fearsome Bill the Butcher Cutting, and Leonardo DiCaprio as Amsterdam Vallon, hungry for vengeance, Cameron Diaz portrays Jenny Everdeen, a resourceful pickpocket with her own motivations and scars. Stepping into a historical epic, Diaz sheds her modern comedic persona to embody a survivor, shaped by a brutal environment. Jenny maneuvers through the underworld, using cunning and grit, forging alliances that benefit her without fully trusting anyone. Beneath her streetwise exterior lies a longing for stability, which becomes complicated once she meets Amsterdam. The pair connect over shared tragedies, yet remain ensnared in the vendettas that rule the 5 Points. Amid the film's dark palette, complete with swirling dust, grimy streets, and savage brawls, Diaz's Jenny injects flashes of vulnerability. It's easy to see how she's fashioned an outward toughness as a shield. She's nimble with a knife, adept at picking pockets, and wary of letting anyone close, particularly ruthless men like Bill. But glimmers of hope flicker when she contemplates escaping the blood-soaked chaos for a fresh start. Gangs of New York isn't a tidy revenge tale. It's a sweeping tapestry of an America undergoing violent transformation as immigrants clash with nativists and political bosses manipulate elections for power. Diaz's Jenny stands at the nexus of these societal rifts, proof that even in a man's world, a determined woman can carve out her own space, albeit at great personal risk. While Daniel Day-Lewis's performance looms large, Diaz holds her ground. She doesn't cower or succumb to the background. Instead, she delivers quiet strength, showing that women in this setting must be every bit as ferocious and savvy as the men vying for control. For those seeking an expansive historical drama rich in tension, betrayal, and fleeting hopes of redemption, Gangs of New York provides an enthralling experience. Diaz's role adds an emotional counterpoint that underscores how, amid savage times, some still strive for a semblance of humanity. Topping our list is perhaps the most eccentric film in Cameron Diaz's career, being John Malkovich, a 1999 fantasy comedy directed by Spike Jonze and written by Charlie Kaufman. The premise is delightfully bizarre. Craig Schwartz, John Cusack, a puppeteer stuck in a dead-end job, discovers a portal that leads directly into the mind of actor John Malkovich. You can enter Malkovich's consciousness for 15 minutes and experience the world through his eyes before being ejected onto a New Jersey turnpike. Diaz plays Lotta, Craig's wife, whose own life feels stifling and unremarkable. When Lotta tries the portal, she's overwhelmed by a flood of new feelings. realizing she actually prefers being John Malkovich over herself. This revelation ignites a chain reaction of twisted possibilities, from financial exploitation, charging strangers to be Malkovich, to complicated romantic entanglements involving Maxine, Catherine Keener. Diaz subverts her usual glamorous image, donning frizzy hair, baggy clothes, and timid body language. Lotta is mousy, anxious, and yearning for a sense of fulfillment she's never tasted. Her transformation is as comedic as it is existential. Freed from her ordinary life, Lotta develops a fascination with the fluid nature of identity, questioning her sexuality, marriage, and mental stability. The more time she spends inside Malkovich, the more she craves that vantage point, a vantage that ironically leads her into a love triangle of sorts. Diaz portrays all this with a raw vulnerability. She's awkward, enthralled, and desperate, sometimes all at once, making Lotta a surprisingly sympathetic character in a storyline laced with absurdity. Spike Jonze and Charlie Kaufman craft a surreal commentary on fame, envy, and our collective obsession with inhabiting someone else's reality. John Malkovich gamely appears as an exaggerated version of himself, baffled by the invasions into his psyche. The entire premise could have collapsed under its own oddness, but the cast grounds it, especially Diaz, whose performance anchors the film's emotional core. The result is an unforgettable piece of cinema that transcends typical genre definitions. Being John Malkovich is hilarious, perplexing, and introspective. Diaz, breaking free from traditional comedic archetypes, makes Lotta a figure of empathy amid the swirling chaos. It's a testament to her courage that she jumped into such a peculiar role early in her career and nailed it. If you're craving a mind-bending narrative that mocks conventional storytelling, you can't do better than stepping into Malkovich's head alongside Cameron Diaz's Lotte. Those are 10 Cameron Diaz gems spanning comedy, drama, and pure cinematic strangeness. Each film reflects a different dimension of her talent. Whether you love her comedic energy, admire her emotional grit, or crave something altogether offbeat. Which one tops your list? Let us know your favorite Diaz performance and be sure to share and subscribe for more movie spotlights. Happy watching!